Hello and welcome to the Bold Prediction Wrestling Podcast. I am the host for this week. I am Chad and I'm joined by the rest of the wonderful internet nerds. Want to introduce yourself, guys? Or not?
Don't all speak at once, right? I'm Ryan, one of the internet gods, you know. Here to talk about another week of wrestling.
I'm Louis. I'm another one of the internet gods, the internet god, and I'm also here to talk about wrestling.
Sorry, I didn't know I had a pirate.
Oh, I'm Ryan, and wrong camera. I'm Ryan, but you already knew that because I'm a star.
We have got an absolute stacked podcast here tonight. We're going to talk about Retribution. We're going to talk about TLC. We're going to talk about AEW Holiday Bash next week. We're going to talk about the Boldies, which is our first award ceremony. But before all of that, I want to discuss a tweet. Now, WrestleVotes tweeted out the other day. Recently, a group of writers were asked to make a list of underutilized talents they felt could shine if given the proper opportunity. Those lists ranged wide, but nearly all of them included Cesaro, Angel Garza, Chad Gable, Carmella, and Peyton Royce. So I just want to get your opinions on that. Like, what do you think about the names that have been said, and do you have any other names that you would add to that yourself? Ryan, we'll come to you first.
Yeah.
Which one?
That one. The one that spoke first earlier.
Me.
Taylor,
right.
Yeah.
No, I agree with most of the names on there. Cesaro, definitely. I feel like he's been underutilized for years now. I know he had a good run with the bar, with Sheamus.
Yeah.
But in terms of like a singles run, he's not... What's he held the US title? Which was years ago now?
2013,
When he first started out, wasn't it?
12, 13, yeah.
Oksana, weren't it?
Yeah, so since then, he's what? He's teamed with Tyson Kidd.
Antonio as well. So
Antonio Cesaro, yeah. Since then, he's teamed with Tyson Kidd, he's teamed with Sheamus, he's teamed with Nakamura.
Cesaro, definitely. Peyton Royce as well, I feel like she's really good, but the Iconics haven't really... I mean, they were good in NXT, then they came up, they didn't really have a run.
They won the women's tag titles, didn't they?
Yeah, and then that's about it, and then they've just fallen off a cliff. But
then they've just split them up.
A name I'd add to that is, I'd say Aleister Black.
Yes.
I feel he's so much promising, and it's just not really, I don't know, not really been given the good stories. I mean, he had that run with, the whole knock at the door kind of thing, and then who was it that turned out to be? Who were it? Was it Buddy Murphy?
Yeah. They had some good matches.
He hasn't. For me, I feel like he was my pick to win the Money in the Bank this year.
Yeah. Question for you.
I feel like he should have won it.
This is for all three of you. Question for you. What brand is Aleister Black on?
Raw.
SmackDown?
Whoa.
I think he's on SmackDown.
I think he's on SmackDown.
Raw.
Talk amongst yourselves. I think he got drafted to SmackDown.
Yeah, I think he did, but that just goes to show that he did. No, he does, because I remember reading something where ever since he's been drafted, he hasn't actually been on TV.
I thought he got, because he was in a feud with Kevin Owens, wasn't he? About like one eye or something.
That was on Raw. That.
But I thought that they both got drafted.
Yeah,
Louis, what do you think about the names that were on that list?
I agree. A name I'd add to that is 100% Ricochet. I feel like Ricochet deserves a lot more. I mean, he's so talented and he can do these like crazy sort of flying maneuvers. The man's like an actual superhero. So it's just stupid that they just keep throwing him on getting beaten by Retribution every week or getting steel wins against Retribution. It doesn't make sense to me personally.
Yeah, we'll get to that because that's something that I want to talk about when we get to the Retribution stuff. Just on WWE's app now, looking at Aleister Black's profile, and he's actually drafted to SmackDown right now.
Oh,
yeah. What I thought.
Not that you'd know it, given what's
going on,
but
really
saying that, this episode goes up tomorrow, so he could appear on SmackDown and prove this whole conversation to just be
true. But I feel like the chances of that happening are very, very slim.
Yeah. Ryan, anybody you want to
add? I think there's just a full roster you could friggin' add.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely every member of Retribution, because I know we're going to cover that later on, but every member of them, they've absolutely ruined them. In terms of women, how about Shayna Basley, because She should have won that title
She
at Mania.
should have beat Becky. Yeah, I agree.
Even though
But
she's a champ, it's not the. Not
I'd
the
actually
main-
written down 4 names that I think myself. First one on there was Aleister Black, which we've already spoke about. The second one on there was Ricochet, has already been mentioned. And the third one on there was actually Mustafa Ali, which, again, you've just mentioned. The fourth one was Andrade.
Oh, I agree with that one.
Because he's been US champ, but then what? He had that wellness policy and was off for a month as champ. But what's he actually... You know, he had Selena Vega as well. She's gone now.
Well, he didn't really defend the US title really either. Not
No.
really.
He had that little feud.
He lost it to Apollo, didn't he?
He did.
I think. That happened as well. Apollo's another one you could put into the mix.
Yeah.
I would 100% add Apollo to that. I think he's absolutely insane, some of the stuff he does, especially for his build and his size. It's mental.
Umberto Carrillo. Like, what's he up to at the moment? He had that feud with Andrade, and they've both gone.
Half the roster here, like he's not good.
He had a little bit of a former tag team between Humberto and Dominic, but they never did.
Dominic Mysterio was on a team with him at one point. That was just completely random too.
I don't know. Well, I thought they could have turned it into a good team, but they never did. They literally just had them tagged together a couple of times, and then they just like ripped them off.
Yeah. I'm just having a look on Raw's roster, and the Viking Raiders. I think one of them's injured at the moment.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Ivar in it, I think.
Jinder Mahal injured. A lot of these people are either in Retribution or in the Hurt Business. Samoa Joe, what's his situation? Is he still injured?
I don't know. He's not. I don't know what's going on with Samoa Joe. Like he can't be. I don't know what the injury is, or no one really says anything. Like, because obviously commentating on Raw, but then he's not on Raw, and then he's just. I don't know.
I don't know. I know he was injured at one point. That's why he did commentary, but I'm not sure what the situation is now.
Don't get me wrong. He's phenomenal in commentary. I enjoy listening to him.
Yeah,
he's really good. But I want him to be in the ring doing what he does best. But
another one on Raw,
a lot more frequently now.
Another one on Raw that I personally think they've just certainly wasted, and I don't know why they did it. But throwback to Hell in a Cell, Tucker.
Yeah,
what was that about?
Turns on Otis and then just
loved it.
Turns on Otis, did nothing, and then was in a match for the 24/7 championship, a 7-way or something, and then we haven't seen him since.
But that's what they do. They break up, they ruin. They don't know what they're doing. They're too old fashioned. But you're just killing their own stars.
Jumping over to SmackDown, you've got Bo Dallas. What's he up to?
Jack shit. I thought they released him.
Mojo Rawley.
Bo Dallas. Here's the thing. I saw it online. It must have been a couple of weeks ago now, maybe longer. And it was they were going to have Bo Dallas, Alexa Bliss, and the Fiend as like and Bray Wyatt as like a group.
100% do it. Stick him in there.
I thought that would be great for him because he's done nothing.
Have him turn out to be Huskus the Pig Boy. Just do it. Another name that I've written down, but I'm sort of like, they've given him a chance, but did they do it properly? Nakamura.
I was going to say that. When I said Cesaro, I was going to go on to Nakamura. Honestly, he won the Rumble, turned on AJ, heel at Mania, and then nothing.
And went for his balls for 6 months.
Yeah.
But he's been Intercontinental Champion for a while, but did nothing. He held the championship. I don't quote me. I think it was 5-6 months. Didn't defend it for like 2 of them straight. Yep. Like did nothing.
There's a common theme here with the mid card titles. They very rarely get defended. Very rarely.
It was the champion at the moment. Sami Zayn. When was the last time he defended it?
SmackDown, right now. No, it weren't.
No, he's having non-title matches, but
yeah.
Bobby Lashley, US champ. When was the last time he defended it?
And yet again, he's not defending at TLC on Sunday.
He defended it at, I want to say, Hell in a Cell against Slapjack.
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah.
And he's defended it once.
Awful.
Oh, who was it? Somebody went up to him and was like, put that on the line against me tonight, and he did it. I can't think who it was. A couple of weeks ago.
Are you sure you just want a rematch? Oh, no.
No idea.
We're not Ricochet.
Could have been.
I might be wrong.
Been. But just sticking on Raw for a second, you've got 3 weeks ago, I think it was, maybe 4, the night after Survivor Series, they did, they all had matches to see who would qualify for next week. Keith Lee beat Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And has not done anything since. Now we're getting Matt Riddle in that story instead. Like, give Keith Lee a title match. But what's Keith done? He lost a handicap match to the Miz and Morrison on Raw. Like,
Oh, don't remind us.
should we move on to the next topic, which is Retribution? Now, I think we can all agree they've just been wasted. They've so much potential, and they've just been wasted. I think. Go on.
They had such a good build-up, and the way that they come in and trash the ring.
They came out with a chainsaw.
The thing is, what they did was they were like Nexus, but without the follow-through.
Yeah.
Like they came out and they had this huge like thing where they beat people up and they take people out, and then there was like thousands of them, and now there's like 5. And they, you know what I mean?
Literally.
Every night on SmackDown, they came out with chainsaws. They had the commentators running off, and now they're just like sitting on commentary with Michael Cole. It's like, it's.
They shocked us, and they were like, "Oh, behind all this was Mustafa Ali."
Yes, that was good.
And I was sat there, and I was like, "My God, this is exactly what Ali needs. He needs the push. He needs, and they just."
What's he done since? Nothing.
Well, I take it back to the hacker as well. What happened with that?
Yeah, it did get revealed that he was the hacker.
Yeah.
And on Twitter, all of Retribution are amazing, but on Raw,
Slapjack is very good.
So the story of Retribution is they keep offering Ricochet to join them. My question to you guys is, should he accept?
Yes.
No, I'll answer at once.
Not a chance.
Personally, I think he should.
Okay.
I think if you have, Ricochet as a big member, like say he becomes like a co-leader kind of thing with Mustafa Ali. I could just see that working really well. I could see like a title ending up their way if they just work it like that.
Yeah,
because I mean, Mustafa Ali and Ricochet are both absolutely insane when it comes to the stuff that they can do, and to have them on a team together, I just think it would be amazing. And their actual names, because we've never heard of Slapjack, we've never heard of Mace. You know what I mean? So I think to have an actual other name in there, it just builds a bit more.
It's funny that you mention names, because I was listening to one of my friend's podcasts, and he came up with the idea of naming. Well, he didn't come up with the idea. He was like sort of joking, like, "Oh, what they're going to call him," and he came back with the answer "Bounce Back." Now, I think that'll kind of work for his moveset. The fact that he's bouncing back as a character. Obviously, I don't want it. I'd like him to just stick as Ricochet, but I think that's a good idea. I would like Ricochet to join for all the points that Louis just said. Imagine Ricochet. Like, the one thing that Ricochet needs more than anything is a mouthpiece. Give him Retribution. Give him all of them.
Yeah, career suicide.
Pardon?
Career suicide.
What, by joining Retribution?
But yeah, because 2 years down the line, Retribution ain't going to be a thing. They're already on the downhill now. You think back to NWO, DX, even like Street Profits, stuff like that. From the get-go, they had a bit. They've been set up to fail. As soon as they got brought in, SmackDown and Raw, then they got taken off Raw for no valid reason. Delegate to SmackDown, and then they started being goofy with these masks and stupid. It doesn't work. Ricochet needs to be on his own. He's like a Rey Mysterio. The whole thing's bollocks. Retribution makes no sense to me. It started off great. It was absolutely fantastic, and then they just got goofy and fell into the WWE system.
Anywhere
else they'd thrive.
Earlier this year, Ricochet had a championship match against Brock Lesnar.
Which were a mistake.
And now look at him. Like,
exactly.
I mean, no one thought he was going to win, but he had a match. Like, he wouldn't even get close to that now.
Yeah. That's their fault. It's their system. That's how they do it. And Retribution's fallen straight into it. It doesn't matter if he joins or not, because they're not going to use him how he should.
They're not going to use him either way, so you might as well stick a mask on him and have him do flippy stuff.
Yeah,
Just imagine, right, a Ricochet heel turn, right?
I won't be asked it, though. I don't care.
How good it could be. I mean, it could end up being one of the best things we've seen.
They
Because
haven't given you reason to care about it, though.
That's it.
When
You
he
said
was-
you don't care, Ryan. That's because they haven't gave you a reason to care.
Exactly. They give me
This
a reason
could be a
to
reason.
invest in Retribution.
That's what
I
I'm
don't care about
saying.
Retribution. Retribution is shit. It has done nothing. It's just goofy and stupid. It's an embarrassment. The
Bring
masks
back a
and stuff,
chainsaw and I'll be
not in
happy.
the 90s.
That's what I'm saying. You bring Ricochet in there.
No.
You put Ricochet in there. It gives it another face. It gives it another
The talent.
reason, right? Ricochet could turn heel. Ricochet's a good heel. He played a heel as Prince Puma back in his Luchador days. I could fully see it. I could fully see him doing really well and changing that faction into something else, taking it to better places.
How would you go about it?
I would.
That's a big question, I know, but
So the way personally I'd do it is I'd just do it the old-fashioned. Well, it is old-fashioned. I'd have a masked attacker. No one would know who it was. An extra member to Retribution, and then I'd just have him unmasked as Ricochet.
do you know
And
what?
then you're
Yeah.
like- And then you're just like, oh my God, Ricochet's in Retribution. You don't have to do any stupid match stipulations like, well, if you lose, you have to join, even though you beat us 1,000 times.
Do you know what? I really
Um,
like that idea.
You just masked attacker, new member of him. Obviously, put him in some sort of full bodysuit so you can't see. So you genuinely have no idea who it is. Have Ricochet wrestling as well. Like, don't remove him from the card, so that it plays into that even more.
You could even do it as soon as TLC. Have New Day Hurt Business. Have Retribution come, just ruin the match, call it all out, and then have him reveal. Then at the Rumble or something, have a 3-way tag match between Hurt Business, New Day, and Ricochet and Ali. Like, you could even do it as soon as TLC.
I agree in a way, but what I'd do is I'd build the suspense with wanting to know who he was more. Like I'd go maybe Rumble, like I'd have an extra member of Retribution at TLC, and then I'd keep that going for the Rumble, maybe to the next pay-per-view after that, and then I'd have him unmasked.
Have him unmasked at Saudi Arabia.
Of course. No, I'd have him unmasked, like maybe on a Raw, and then it'd make up for a match like New Day versus, or whatever, something along them lines.
Do you have anything else to add to this conversation, Ryan Taylor, or have we more or less covered everything?
Well, about maybe if Ricochet was to join Retribution, I'd maybe go a different route and maybe have looking like he's going to join the Hurt Business. I know we've been down that a bit and look like on the teetering on the edge of he's going to join, and then obviously having Retribution and Hurt Business going at it, and then Ricochet stood at the top of the ramp, and it's like which way is he going to go? Go towards Hurt Business, goes to Retribution, turns around, and then just
What
goes
they
after
could do, that's a good idea. What they could do is they could have him join the Hurt Business through Alexander, because they were a tag team at one point.
Yeah.
And then what they could do is they could just have him turn on the Hurt Business and then join Retribution. Yeah. And that would boost Retribution, because Hurt Business is like the biggest faction at the moment, if you ask me personally.
No, it's currently. Yeah, I'd go with that one or the one that you suggested with the mass attacker. I think either way, you're on to a winner. I don't personally, I don't know if I'd like to see Ricochet in Retribution. Though I agree with Ryan. I think it's just a natural face, and I can't see. I just couldn't take him seriously as a heel. I know we said they may be saying with Ali, but I've seen Ali as a heel. Maybe I'm making a quick judgment, but I just can't see Ricochet as a heel. I just can't see it.
Honestly, he's played a heel before. When he was at Lucha Underground, I believe, and he played a heel there, and he was really good. Honestly, he was fantastic. He was he was also almost like a Randy Orton kind of heel when he was there. You know what I mean? Like, he was very sort of behind the back and sly, and he was really good. And I could just see that fitting into the way that Retribution work.
I mean, I guess it's something to look at, but just from a personal point of view, I just don't think I'd like to see it.
I've got a better way of him joining.
Don't.
Retribution's whole thing was about beating the system.
Mm.
What better way to do it? Which better person embodies that old mentality of big guys F the small guys, than Vince McMahon himself. I'd scrap all the Ali Ricochet relationship. F that. You'd get Ricochet. You'd get him losing week after week on Raw. Loses to like local jobbers. I know it's hard now, but or whatever. And then one day he's had enough. He loses. He goes backstage, and you shoot it in a way where it looks real. And he goes up to Vince McMahon straight away in gorilla position, slaps him, spits in his face. He's going at the system. And then the only way to get at the system is to join Retribution, so that's why he joins. And then from there, they just got to tear up.
Yeah, either that.
It'll stand out more.
Yeah, either that or exactly the same as what you said, but instead of going to gorilla position, he just whips out a chair from under the ring and starts beating the living crap out of whoever he's in the ring with.
Yeah.
On Phillips. But everything that we've just spoke about, I'd say a lot of them are long-term goals. If you saw the ratings for Raw, you'd know that this week was the lowest rated Raw ever. What do you think they need to do to improve?
Honestly, it's simple. Honestly, it's simple. You just utilise your roster more.
Oh, so give the title to Brock Lesnar and have him F off till Mania.
Exactly. It just feels like recycle, repeat. Like we're just going over the same things again and again and again.
I know exactly what they need to do. Have
McGregor.
Goldberg back.
I'd dig that, to be fair. I like Goldberg, to be fair.
I don't agree with that at all.
I love Goldberg.
It infuriates me. There's no need.
I like Goldberg. I like Goldberg for what he is. But I cannot be dealing with him having the Universal World title. I can't be dealing with it. I can't. No, I like agree. Goldberg, I do, but I just.
What you need to do, Goldberg, right? You need to have Goldberg come back, right? Goldberg and Lesnar had a fantastic match years and years and years ago at Mania.
Oh, right? I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that again.
Oh, that were awful, mate. That were awful, Mania 20. That were dreadful.
No, I think he means the more recent one.
Oh, I'm going to say that's slightly better, yeah.
But no, anyway, so they could do like a feud, but like a proper feud, not like a Brock Lesnar feud where he doesn't show up.
That's every Brock Lesnar feud ever.
Yeah.
The lazy fat fuck.
Which one of these shouts ratings more to you? I know it's a bit more long term, but which one of these shouts ratings more? Goldberg appears on the bump that, like, I've got to admit, I've watched probably once. Challenges Roman Reigns, we have a match at WrestleMania. Or Big E wins the Rumble, Big E Roman Mania. Which one of them shouts ratings more?
100%.
Goldberg. Honestly, for me, I'd say Big E win the Rumble, but I feel because Goldberg's such a big name, he would just naturally draw viewers in.
But they're in the mindset of if we bring back a Goldberg or a Brock Lesnar, we're going to get views. But if they're doing that, they're losing the views they've got now.
Yeah, and this goes back to the point, right? You said, like, obviously now you've got the legends coming out. You've got Austin, Rock, Flair. Who else have we got? Brock, Goldberg. Like in 10 years' time, these aren't a Taker. These aren't going to be there. So you've got to make stars now to bring back in the future. And they're not doing that. I mean, if you look at it now, who are you going to bring back? Orton,
Roman,
Cena, Rollins, Reigns, and then you're struggling.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Like, let's say 10 years' time, right? At this moment in time, and it's no disrespect to anybody, if Kofi Kingston leaves and returns, it's not going to be massive.
You're not going to get that big pop, are you?
No. If Roman Reigns comes back, fair enough. Drew McIntyre, not really.
He's still got to do a bit longer. He's still got to do a bit more for me, Drew.
He's only
been in the main event scene for less than a year.
He's on that pathway.
He's on that pathway, don't get me wrong, and he's got plenty of time, but I feel like right now, if you're going to say right now, in 10 years' time, who you're going to bring back as a legend to get the ratings up, you're not going to put Drew McIntyre in that conversation at the minute. Not for me.
So wrestlers that have wrestled in the past, let's say, month or two, if we're in exactly the same situation in 10 years' time, if you bring back a Bobby Lashley, as he is now, not going to do much.
No.
Who else have we got? Sami Zayn.
AJ Styles. That one definitely.
AJ would, yeah. Yeah, AJ's a big star. Sheamus, it'll sort of be like, hey, Sheamus. And it's like, King Corbin.
No, not Corbin.
Rey Mysterio.
Baron Corbin, they did nothing with him. They could have done so much more with him. They could have had like a full-on, like, when he become King of the Ring, and this annoys me so much, when he become King of the Ring, they could have done so much with him. They could have had him in the main picture. They could have had him title fight. They could have had him doing all sorts, because he's good.
What did they do? What did they do? They had him feud with Roman for 9 months.
In the worst matches I have ever watched in my life.
Dog food matches.
Literally.
The resource that involved every time, it just drove me insane.
There was something else I was going to add on to that. SmackDown last week, he actually came out with the other two of the Forgotten Sons. He came out with Elias. It was the other two.
Oh no, sorry. Yes, that's my bad. I don't know what the names are. I forgot.
No.
This is what I mean. I don't know.
Exactly, but he had a good name for them. Well, I thought it was a good name.
Oh, it was the King's Summit.
The King's Justice. I don't know.
No, it was something. It was something quite good.
Knights of the King of Summit. Knights of the Summit. It were Knights. Summit Knights.
I just reckon it's
right.
to be honest.
Talk amongst yourselves a minute.
I reckon they should have a Baron Corbin and Ralphus. I think that would be a fantastic little duo. Ralphus, Jericho's old bodyguard from WCW.
Oh, that's a throwback.
I know, but I think he would be brilliant.
Throwback.
Knights of the Lone Wolf.
That was it. That's a sick name. Oh, I rate
exactly.
That. I like that.
I like that. It's just, if they go out tonight on SmackDown and they lose to Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, and Murphy, that's it. You've ruined it straight away.
That's what they'll do.
So I think that's enough for Retribution and let's just say main roster WWE. I watched AEW this week, which is not something I always do. Next week, they have announced the AEW Holiday Bash, and they have announced a fair few amount of matches. So the Young Bucks are defending the tag titles against the Acclaimed, Jericho and MJF against Top Flight, Kip Sabian and what's her name? Penelope Ford. That's the one from Wacky Races. They have their wedding date announcement. Dustin Rhodes versus Evil Uno, Pac versus Butcher, Jurassic Express versus Colt Cabana.
Jesus Christ.
And 5 and 10 from the Dark Order. Can somebody quickly explain the Dark Order and all these numbers to me?
So, in the Dark Order, there's Rudy Lee, who's like the main guy.
Is he Evil Uno?
I'll get to him in a minute.
Right.
So, there's Brody Lee, he's the main guy, but he's not been around for a while. So I think they're replacing him with Hangman Adam Page. He's been doing bits with the Dark Order. So I think that could be a thing, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't know how they're going to work it because they have been helping him and he's been doing matches with them and stuff. He's not associating himself fully yet. Then you've got basically they're just like nameless faces. You know, they're just people, henchmen that they just throw in. Apart from Evil Uno. Evil Uno is a super old luchador, and he's like super well known to like indie cult wrestling fans. And he was originally called Player Uno, and they changed it to Evil Uno when he joined the Dark Order. And he's really good. He's fantastic. He's a bit old now.
I kind of like that. So the Dark Order 5 and 10 are in a match next week. Like, who are they, or are they just 5 and 10? Is that just
They're literally the henchmen. There's so many henchmen.
That's quite cool.
The Dark Order, they all wear masks, or most of them do. And they're literally just nameless faces, just henchmen. It reminds me a bit of like, I can't think of the name of it. There was a Batman villain, and he was like a leader, and then he had loads of like masked henchmen, and they were all called like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't remember the name of it.
No, I can't. But I like the idea of that, like, because I've obviously heard of like, oh, they're 5, they're 10. I'm like, but who are they? But if they are literally just henchmen, then I like that idea. So we've got Evil Uno and Dustin Rhodes. Any of you want to take the lead on that and tell me the story behind it and what you reckon is going to happen and etc.
I think Louis the go-to for AEW. To be honest, he's the one that knows the most about it.
So what I'd say is, so the Natural, as he's called, Dustin Rhodes, he's been doing this whole sort of angle where he's been fighting for a business, and he's been in the business so long, and he wants to come forward and defend it against people like the Dark Order. And basically what's happened is he's taken on Evil Uno, who behind Brody Lee, and to be determined or not, Hangman Adam Page, Evil Uno is the main guy. Like, he's like second in command. He's sort of like the head henchman, if you know what I mean. And I just personally, I think it'd be a good match. But they're both really old now. They're both in their 50s. I think I don't know quite how old Evil Uno is, but I know that he's been wrestling for a very long time.
So from that sort of like little faction thing, am I right in saying Pac returned on Dynamite this week, or has he been back a couple of weeks?
He returned about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Right.
And he came back, dropped his catchphrase, which is "The bastard is back." And I cannot for the life of me remember who he is feuding with.
Oh, it's Eddie Kingston?
Yeah. No?
Yes.
Because it's Eddie Kingston is sort of like, and his family is like the Butcher and the Blade, is that right?
Yes.
So we've got Pac versus the Butcher next week.
Yeah. And the Butcher's pretty good, but the Butcher's pretty good. It should be a good match. Pac's just Adrian Neville, so it should be like backflips, front flips. I'm looking for all sorts of cool stuff in that match.
WWE dropped the ball on him. Like, that was another wasted talent, and look what happens. You don't give them the opportunity, they go elsewhere, and they... Speaking of not giving them the opportunity and them going elsewhere,
Hey.
Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford's wedding date announcement is coming up, and Myro, also known as Rusev, is said he's going to get involved in that. What's the situation there?
Isn't he the best man?
Yeah, Kip Sabian's his best friend.
No.
He's the best man at his wedding.
Oh, that's amazing.
And he's got, so Miro, or Rusev, has got a fantastic character in AEW compared to the one that he had in WWE. In WWE, he never spoke, you know what I mean? He was
over.
He was just this one-dimensional, I'm going to batter everyone.
Rusev Day.
Whereas in AEW, he comes out like wearing designer clothes. He's got a I can't think of the word for it, like an actual image. You know what I mean? Whereas in WWE, it was just Rusev and everybody loved him because he was beating people. Whereas in AEW, he's like an actual character. Like, he's like, the best way to describe it is he's like Rob Van Dam before Rob Van Dam joined WWE.
Okay.
You know how in ECW...
I'm picking up a theme of WWE ruins people.
What could possibly make you think that, Chad?
I don't know. Top Flight, who are they?
Top Flight are...
Because they're taking on MJF and Chris Jericho.
So they've just introduced so many tag teams. So there's like there's Private Party, which have been around for a while. Yeah, there's SCU,
Best
which
friends.
SCU are like I think it's SCU that are like they're like the Street Profits basically.
I gathered that from Dynamite this week.
They're just like the Street Profits. That's just their whole thing. That's just the way they are. Then you've got, there's so many. So there's FTR that have been around for a while.
Yeah.
Young Bucks. Yeah. Really have been around for a while.
Defended their titles against the Acclaimed. Who are they?
The Acclaimed. I don't actually think they're anybody. I think they're just. There's been so many tag teams that have literally just been brought in.
Yeah.
They're just trying to get them in a match.
Get their name out of it.
Yeah, the Acclaimed have been making like a lot of... There's been a big feud going on between the Acclaimed and the Young Bucks. The Acclaimed have been sneaking attacking them. They've been doing all sorts, just very sort of sly antics from them. And it should make for a good match, to be fair.
So what I'm getting is there's a lot of good matches to be next week. That's AEW's Holiday Bash. After that, they've got AEW's New Year's Party, Part 1 and Part 2. There is stuff announced, including a Kenny Omega title defense.
Ooh.
Can't remember who that's against. Louis, do you know?
I don't know that one, unfortunately. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think. All I know is that I haven't watched Dynamite this week, right? And I know that Kenny Omega went against the bad boy Joey Janela in a no disqualifications match, and I'm hoping that it was really good.
I am going to keep quiet because I don't want to ruin anything for you.
I'm hoping on hope that it was a good match because I like Joey Janela. I just think he's great. I love Joey Janela. I think he's fantastic. He had some great matches with Leo Rush. When Leo Rush got released from WWE, Leo Rush and Joey Janela had a indie match, but it was like an anything goes, and it was on a pier.
Oh wow!
So they were on this like decking, and they were literally like they put each other through tables, they threw each other through chairs. Leo Rush did the craziest double backflip moonsault thing. It was amazing. There was a what's it called now?
Joey Janela is one of them names I've heard of, but not really watched anything until this week.
He's really more well known for the indies. He doesn't really go into anything more than.
Kenny Omega's next championship defense is on the December 30th, the first of AW's 2 New Year's Smash shows, and it is against Rey Fenix.
Well, it should be a good match, to be fair. Phoenix is pretty good. He'll probably have, let me remember his name. Pento
Dunwudu? The week after that, we've got NXT New Year's Evil, and we've got Finn Balor defending the NXT Championship against Kyle O'Reilly in a rematch. Anybody want to comment on that? Either of the Ryans want to mention anything?
Finn Balor
is amazing.
Yeah, I think a pretty straightforward Balor win that with Cross coming back for his title.
Yeah.
Setting up that feud again.
I agree. As for NXT, we've got stuff with like Johnny Gargano and that, but it's not amazing. It's not worth, So if it's all right with you guys, we're going to move on to the TLC discussion.
Yes.
Which is...
We do not want to have a picture of your crotch on my screen, so if you could please kindly remove it.
What's that? A big cock?
Thank you.
The TLC discussion. So this podcast will be going up on Saturday. So tomorrow is TLC. So far, there are 6 matches announced, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's why. So we're going to do a quick discussion here. You can go as in depth as you want, guys. And then tomorrow on the Facebook and Twitter or whatever, we'll announce our full predictions. The loser will have to watch 4 matches and live stream their reactions to YouTube.
Yeah.
Are we all going? Yeah.
Oh, bollocks. I didn't know we were a live stream.
Are we going with the matches that we agreed off podcast? Yeah. Everyone?
Yeah.
So those matches are my vote of the greatest Royal Rumble, which is just painful to think about.
That's an hour alone. Do
you know what? If you think that's bad, we'll come to Ryan Sutcliffe last. Go on, Ryan. What's yours?
Mine is DX versus Brothers of Destruction at Saudi
I like that match, to be fair. I actually like that match, so I'd happily watch that.
That was an absolute botch fest.
I love it. I likes it.
If I end up with, I'm going to be slagging that match off to the hills. I don't care.
Louis, what's yours?
Do we have to watch our own?
No, we have to watch all 4.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. Oh, frig me, man.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So there's 1 hour alone of just the Royal Rumble. Maybe a good solid 2.5 hours.
Mate, 2.5 hours. Wait till you hear what Ryan's is. His is a long, painful match. But Louis, what's yours?
Mine is Taker versus Goldberg from Crown Jewels.
Oh, that's a belter, mate.
3 Saudi Arabia bad matches, and now what I believe to be the most painful one.
Thing going on.
This next one is so painful. Just the thought of
Are
it.
you ready?
Ryan.
AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan.
Nah, it's not. That's not.
Randy Orton.
I'd watch that all day long.
Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal, Punjabi Prison, Ground 2020.
Punjabi prison match with a great
Great
Khali at the
Khali,
end.
and
No,
he thinks he's won the world title in this one. Yeah, that's going to be awful. I don't know why I
So our
suggested
predictions
that.
will be up
I could've
tomorrow.
suggested something.
There's going to be a prediction for each match and a bonus prediction for who, if we
Voila.
guess Asuka's partner correct.
Oh, I've got a good shout for
Charlotte
this.
Flair,
But before we get to that,
Charlotte Flair.
we're going to go with the first
Oh,
match of the show.
I'm thinking Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
Raw Tag Team Championship match. The New Day defending against the Hurt Business. Anybody want to throw out a
Hurt Business better win,
prediction?
or else they're in the same position as Retribution. If they don't win this, then they've had like chance after chance. They need to win this for themselves. To be an actual valid threat, they need those tag team titles.
I
now.
would like
They keep losing and losing.
I would like there to be a little twist, because you know how the New Day have always been like 3-man rule. You don't know who you're going to
Yeah.
face until they arrive. Blah blah blah. I want Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin to be standing in the ring, ready to start. And MVP be like, haha, nope. Shelton Benjamin
Yeah.
out. Me and Cedric, because Cedric's beaten both of them, and Shelton Benjamin's lost. So I want MVP to be like, get out. I'm doing it. And then I want him to win. I think Hurt Business.
I can see that happening. To be fair,
Yeah.
I can't call it personally. I think
really,
because I can, but then again, there's not really much competition, is there, on Raw? I mean, you just feel like I don't know.
I feel like
Tag
if
teams
if
doesn't
New
go
Day
Raw.
win here, where
Yeah.
do you go?
Yeah,
At least if Hurt Business win, you can do a rematch.
and I think the Hurt Business having the mid card and the tag titles in the group, it would be something.
Then
like-
MVP challenges Drew McIntyre.
I probably would. I'm not fully gone either way here. I'm still thinking about it.
Still
I'm
plenty of
slightly
time to
leaning towards Hurt
confirm.
Business, but I don't know. The New Day are just the New Day. Like you can never rule them out.
SmackDown Women's Championship match. Sasha Banks defending against Carmella.
Sasha Banks, easy win. Well,
You say that she's never successfully defended a title on a pay-per-view.
yeah, they're not going to break that curse straight away, though, are they? She's got it now. Mania rematch with Bayley, I can see happening.
Carmella.
I can see
I'm
when
going
you might want to
Carmella,
do-
and then
you
I'm
think
going a
they'll go-
rematch at the Royal Rumble.
Oh,
Keep them both busy.
Ah,
Wait till you hear my Royal Rumble prediction. Now that
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
wait.
eh?
but the women's or the men's?
The men's. I think Big E
I don't see
or
me.
Keith Lee. They're my two.
They're
I
my
would like
two.
to see Big E, Kofi Kingston, final two. 15 minutes of just them two. Xavier Woods on the outside, not knowing what to do. Women's,
playing his trombone.
women's, a returning Lana.
Whoa!
Hang on, hear me out. Everyone kicks
Oh.
off. It's like, Lana, no, get out. She wins it by eliminating Nia. That is how you get Lana over.
No.
and then she
Please,
puts it
no.
in the I'd watch that.
Yeah, and then she gets injured and someone else takes the place.
Oh, this is a long shot. This is a long shot. But what about Nia Jax thinks she's won it, but out comes Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch. Friggin' hell, what have you been taking tonight, you lad?
Well, no, hear me out. She's already given birth. It's not for another 6 or 7 weeks.
She's
Well,
had her baby. Get back in the ring.
she's already been keeping herself in great shape.
Vince is on the phone
God.
to her right now saying, listen, we need
I mean, I'm not saying
ratings.
it's going to happen, but I'm just saying, just don't be completely surprised if Becky Lynch comes and returns at the Royal Rumble. That's all I'm saying.
So back to TLC. Carmella, Sasha.
Sasha.
I think it's way too soon to put it on Carmella. I think she's only just
Yeah,
come
I
back.
agree.
I mean, you could have like a dodgy finish, not a definitive
Yeah,
finish.
DQ.
I
I
think
think
it
that's
works
what
out.
it'll be.
Yeah, I don't think
Maybe
it's fair on Sasha to have that feud over the summer with Bayley just to lose at the first hurdle.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it's happened in the past, and it might just be like naivety here, but I just can't see anything but Sasha win. personally.
Louis,
Yeah, this is one
Sasha
long podcast.
Carmella, any thoughts?
I want right. So really, I think it could be a really good match, but I really want Carmella to win.
Mm-hmm.
Only because Carmella's come back. She's got this whole like bad bitch persona that she's doing. If she can get a clean win over Sasha, even if Sasha wins it back at the next pay-per-view, if she can get a clean win over Sasha, that automatically removes Like all the time she spent chasing R-Truth around with the 24/7 title.
Carmella, let's not forget, the first person to pin Asuka. Let's not forget
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
And the first women's Money in the Bank winner, James Ellsworth.
The next match, we've got Nia and Shayna taking on Asuka and a mystery partner. Before I ask who's going to win the match,
this one I can't call.
Who is going to be a mystery partner? I've heard so many names. Charlotte, Louis.
I'm going to go only because Mandy Rose came out last week. I'm going to say Mandy Rose.
No, you can't take my pick. What's that about?
Okay, Ryan, you go in Mandy Rose as well?
I said to Louis earlier, the other day, I think it's going to be Mandy Rose. Look at him, he knows. I said Mandy Rose. I'm sorry, I'm not having that.
And I was on
I said Mandy Rose.
Scores a domestic now, lads. Scores a domestic.
I'm gonna interrupt you and just carry on.
No.
That's
not how this works.
I have got so many names in my head that it could be. My top 3, 4. I've got so many names. I'd like to see a one-off appearance from Kairi Sane again.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Io Shirai, Raw Women's and NXT Women's Champion as tag team champions, because it's a floater belt, so it can go anywhere.
I fully agree with that.
You said Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville.
Sonya, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And what is probably going to be my pick? She's on Raw, hasn't been seen for a couple of weeks.
Natalia.
She's on SmackDown and sucks. Nikki Cross.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about
There's a few names, so I don't know who I'm going for just yet. What were you going to say, Louis?
She's not with Alexa anymore, so she's opened right up. I mean, she could fully do it.
Alexa, why have you left me for the Fiend? Alexa.
That's actually pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Alexa,
I like that.
Alexa, what are you doing?
So, as for the match itself, who's winning?
You just set my Alexa off. You literally just set my Alexa off. Alexa, bless.
Who's winning the match?
What match? Oh, Baszler and Jax.
Yeah.
What match?
Ryan?
Honestly,
so much I care about that.
I can't call this one. It all depends on who the mystery partner is.
We have an Asuka double champ.
That's what I mean. Double champ. Does Asuka really need it? But then on the flip side, Shayna and Nia have held it for a bit now. Freshen it up a bit. I don't really know.
I think Nia and Shayna, they win by, I don't know, tapping out Asuka, pinning Asuka. I know. And then we have Asuka versus whoever pinned her at Rumble.
But after this though, who do Nia and Shayna face? You know, there's not many female tag teams, if any.
It's the women's tag team titles. No one cares. They haven't even appeared on another brand. They haven't even gone to NXT. It's like, what else do we have? We have a Firefly Inferno match.
Oh my God! You literally called it last week. You literally called the Firefly last week, Chad.
I wanted a Firefly Funhouse match,
and I don't want it now.
You mean you got the next best thing, aren't you? Really?
Inferno.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be. Me and Louis were having a chat, and could you imagine if it's just in a burning barn that Randy Orton set fire to like 3 years ago? The compound, yeah. I'm going Bray Wyatt Fiend.
It has to be the Fiend.
I think it has to be the Fiend, but I'm not liking all these losses that Orton's taken recently.
I don't like Orton. Get him out of here.
Whoa!
We have the conversation every week, Louis.
No, I just feel like because over the summer he had that big feud with Edge, and then he was beating people, and then he obviously took the belt off Drew, but he's lost to Drew a hell of a lot. I think I don't know, just losing to the Fiend again. But then again, I don't want the Fiend to lose either. I feel like the back is heading to another corner here.
Just for you mentioning Edge, then, do you reckon he's going to come back in the Rumble at number 21 again?
Who, Orton or
Edge?
Oh, Edge. Oh, I mean, it depends because he's a bad injury, isn't it? And obviously he's older, so it's going to take a lot longer to heal. I don't know. I mean, I won't rule that out, but I don't know.
Any comments on Orton match?
It's not overly fussed that Edge got injured because I feel like he needs to benefit from having a crowd. Yeah. So if any time was to get injured, I want it to be now where he can heal and obviously get fans back nearer to the time.
You're not a fan of the greatest wrestling match ever, then, no?
I love that match. That's a decent match, that. That was a good match.
Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso at Hell in a Cell was better than that. I'm just saying.
Nah, give over. That greatest match ever was an actual banger. They pulled it
Louis,
off
what were
with-
you saying? Sorry.
So
I
good.
enjoyed the greatest match ever. I thought it was quite
Yeah.
good.
One of the best ones they had.
I'm going to be honest, I skipped it.
Nah, mate, go back and watch it.
Mate,
That is
it's a
worth it.
Randy
Worth it.
Orton match.
But it's a good Randy Orton match. And the rare ones that you might think he has, that's a good Randy Orton match.
We also have on Sunday 2 TLC matches. Which one should I start with, Roman or Drew?
Oh, Drew versus Styles is going to steal the show, man.
Okay, so we'll talk about Roman Kevin Owens first then. Roman's winning, yeah?
Straight up Roman win this. Straight up Roman win.
I can't see him dropping.
So easy.
Sweet.
Big good match, though.
Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles.
Yes.
I've got a bold prediction here, but I'll let you guys go first.
Miz, I know what you had. Miz cashes in.
Oh yeah. So I've got both of them out. Let's say they've both gone through a table. I don't know, whatever. Let's say Omos has pushed the ladder and they've both died, whatever. Referee's like 1, 2. Awesome. Miz runs down, launches the Money in the Bank to the timekeeper's corner, runs up the ladder, unhooks the title. See you later. That's my prediction. Miz is winning. Miz is winning. That's my prediction. I hope it doesn't happen. That's my prediction.
In the match. That's a ballsy move. But one that will pay off.
I fully agree. They're both going to be down, right? They're both going to be completely down and out. And you're just going to hear Miz's music. Miz is going to come down. He's going to steal a win.
It's nothing.
The
only thing we've seen similar is Seth at Mania, but this is like a TLC match.
That honestly, that is one of the greatest moments ever. Yeah. I love that. Every time I see it, it gives me goosebumps.
Imagine just cashing in, pegging it up a ladder, taking the title, and popping off.
I don't. You know what? The fact you can tell it's a good moment, right? Because I love Roman, and you know how big of an advocate of Roman fan I am, and that was his first real opportunity at the belt, and I honestly thought we were going to win it, and then you just hear the music hit and you're like, oh my god, you know. But I'm going to say I think they'll tease the cash in. I think he'll come down, they'll be flat out, but I think Sheamus is going to come down and bro kick Miz and save Drew.
That's a good shout.
Not a bad shout.
That is a good shout.
That's what I think. I can see that because then you can continue. You've got the tease of the cash in.
Yeah.
You've got AJ being kept, relatively protected, and Drew, you keep the belt on Drew, and you can continue that feud with Sheamus. That is also going to lead to a match.
I want to talk more about Miz cash in after the Boldies, because I've got very controversial. I want him to cash in on Sunday, but I want him to wait till after Mania, especially if we're going to get Keith Lee, Brock, and Drew. Any more comments on TLC, or are we good to move on to the award ceremony?
I think we've covered most things, haven't we? I think.
Yeah. Okay, so we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 awards, as well as who we predict is going to be the 2021 Superstar of the Year. So, first of all, we're going to go around in a circle saying who we think. I'll say the award. I'll say who I think. Ryan Taylor, Louis, Ryan, say who you think. So, Male Superstar of the Year, Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre.
Louis?
I'm going to have to disagree with everyone. I'm going to have to say Jon Moxley. Has to be said.
Okay. Ryan?
Justin Law. Drew McIntyre.
Okay. Louis, put your case forward for, was it Jon Moxley, you said?
Yeah, Jon Moxley. So, Jon Moxley came in. He won the AEW belt in February, beat Chris Jericho in a match. And I know it's a bit of a taboo, but he beat him in a match with fans. And he held the belt. He was unbeaten in AEW. He held the belt. He didn't lose clean. And every single AEW pay-per-view, he's had a brand new feud. It's been an entertaining match, and it's not just been the same stuff recycled.
I wonder what that's like.
Exactly. And to even add to that, he's also the NJPW United States champion. And he's the longest reigning New Japan United States champion of all time.
Oh, I forgot about that, yeah.
Okay.
2 belts, 2 promotions, both of them for a very long time. He's not been beaten much. He's had fantastic feuds, and he's been honestly a delight to watch. I can't.
My case for Drew McIntyre: eliminated Brock at the Rumble, won the Rumble, beat Brock, beat basically everybody, lost at Hell in a Cell, which is just so stupid. I don't even talk about it. 2-time WWE champion this year. Carried the company through an era where it's difficult, especially with no fans. Do either of the Ryans have anything to add to that?
No, I think I agree with most of that, but I feel like he's come on leaps and bounds this year as a performer and as an actual character as well. I feel like he has a character.
The thing is, though, I'm just going to back up Moxley again. The thing is, he left WWE, right? And to be brutally honest, he could have gone on and become a nobody.
Yeah.
But instead, he went on and achieved more at AEW, or it feels like more in AEW, in the year he's been there than he did for the most part he was at WWE.
I think we've got to give him extra points as well for getting Renee Young pregnant.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. He was a Grand Slam champion. Was he the first out of the Shield as well?
Yeah.
Money in
the Bank winner.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know. I think that's
longest ever United States champion.
Yep.
I mean, you didn't defend it, but
I wouldn't agree with some more in AEW than he has WWE. He's a Grand Slammer and everything. The only thing he hasn't done is win the Rumble and Main Event Mania, which is hard to do in itself anyway.
So we've got.
What I'm saying, he's not. I'm not saying he's done more. I'm saying he's done nearly as much. He's won the main belt. He's unbeaten in a year. He's lost one match, in a year, and that was very recently.
I definitely think from what he was doing in WWE and his character to then go to another company.
That's what I'm saying.
Brand new character and basically reinvent himself as he actually is as a person. Like, I do see where you're coming from. I do think that
he has an incredible year too. He has a really good year. Put it on classic.
I really can't change my pick from Drew. I've got to go with him. Ryan's.
Yeah, I understand the Moxley case. I agree to Louis' certain degree, but I think Drew has just topped it for me.
Yeah.
Moxley's near second, 100%. He's incredible this year.
So with 3 votes to 1, our male superstar of the year for 2020 is Drew McIntyre. Ryan said he was going to get some award, way, but it's fine.
The Scottish psychopath.
Female superstar of the year.
I'm going
Asuka. Ryan?
Oh,
Sasha Banks.
Okay, Louis?
So I was tossing a few ideas around in my head, and I was going to go for either a person that's just debuted in AEW, not so long since, called Abaddon. She's been just beating everyone up, making a real name for herself, but she hasn't actually won anything, so I'm not going to say her. Then I was going to say Rosemary. TNA carried the knockout division. But I'm just going to have to just go straight down the middle, go mainstream and say Sasha Banks. And
okay. Ryan?
I'm going Bayley.
Okay.
Oh. So good spread, yeah.
So we've got 2 for Sasha, 1 for Asuka, 1 for Bayley. I'm going to give my my reasons for Asuka. Money in the Bank winner. Yeah, exactly. You forget because she just got given the championship, but she did win that awful Money in the Bank match at headquarters. It was different.
Murder. We thought murder.
Her and Kairi Sane started the year as tag champs. She faced Becky at the Rumble. She has been on commentary during this era, which was just hilarious. And the thing that did it for me most is the fact that she was in that Lauren Otis segment where they were in the courtroom with JBL and she's just shouting. And I just love Asuka. I think she's the best women's wrestler in the company as well, which I know is a big shout, but I think she's just amazing. I think she's on another level.
I don't think that's too big of a shout. I think the other one that comes close or is better is Charlotte Flair. Yeah, to be honest.
I agree. Yeah. Ryan, you went for Bayley. Do you want to give your reasoning next?
I do, yeah. I think, for the start of the issue of the champ anyway, I think she's been carrying the SmackDown Women's Division, 100%. And granted, Sasha Banks is a part of that, but I think you needed Sasha Banks to be the Sasha Banks she's been, only if we had the Bayley that has been this year. Her heel work is really good. There's no denying that. She's great in the ring, obviously. And I just think she's carried the brand in a time where it has been uncertain and there's been talent coming and going, and who's
She's
going
beat
to stay.
everyone.
But she's been the mainstay. She's gone through it all, and it's well deserved as well because it's a long time coming, and she's just on fire right now. And I think she's been amazing.
But since losing the title, she's lost 9 matches in a row.
That's bad booking, though. That's not her.
That's not her. That's bad booking.
That's bad booking.
Ryan and Louis, you went Sasha. Want to talk about it?
So the only reason I said Sasha is just because I loved her angle with Bayley, but I really didn't want to say Sasha because I feel like it's just a cheap way out. So instead, I'm going to change my answer to Asuka.
Ooh.
Only because I just feel like I hadn't considered what she's done. She won the belt. She's defended the belt. She
Lost it
the
to
belt.
Sasha, but shenanigans.
But the way that she lost it, they worked it so well so that she didn't lose any momentum.
Yeah.
She won it near enough straight back as well. And honestly, I just think I think she's done absolute bits as a female wrestler this year.
Wow. Okay. That's why we have these discussions to see if anyone can change their mind, think of something they haven't thought of. Ryan, Sasha.
Right, I'm not going to chicken out like Louis did. I'm sticking with my answer.
I didn't want to pick Sasha.
At Survivor Series this year, did Asuka and Sasha face off? I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
Did Sasha win that match?
Okay, I
think
remember.
Sasha won, didn't
Nobody
she?
knows.
I think Sasha Banks won that match. So so that straight off the bat, your two picks. She's beaten Bayley for the belt. She's beaten Asuka.
I respect that.
So
I rate that technique.
Straight off the bat, she's already beaten both of your three picks.
Sasha Banks beats Asuka via pinfall at WWE Survivor Series.
You what?
Sasha Banks beats Asuka via pinfall.
Yeah. So also, just to counter your argument, she's also been a tag title this year, and also current SmackDown Women's Champion. Had a hell of a feud over the summer with Bayley.
Grand Slam champion now.
Grand Slam champion, one of the feuds of the year for me personally. So and she's very good in the ring. Like, I know she has a reckless moment, but I think that's just the nature of her style as well. But for me, I feel like I don't need to say no more on the matter. I think Sasha for me.
Fair enough.
I really can't change from Asuka. The Money in the Bank. It's just that's the bit that gets me.
But also on the flip side, she's Money in the Bank, but then she just got gifted the Raw. She didn't actually win the championship. She didn't win it.
She did defend it.
She proved herself by defending it so
Yeah.
much. She defended it against everyone, and she defended it on SmackDown.
Who she defended it against? I can't remember.
Nia.
She defended the belt.
Just Sasha Banks.
Nia, I'm sorry, but she didn't even win the belt. She had it given to her. No, I'm not saying that she wouldn't have won it because it's Asuka with a briefcase, but she didn't actually win the belt. She didn't pin someone.
Ryan, if you vote for Sasha, then we have a 2-way tie. If you vote for Asuka, Asuka wins. If you vote for Bayley, Asuka wins. It's up to you.
I can't leave a brother hanging. I've got to go Sasha Banks.
Okay, so we're gonna have 2 Asuka and Sasha. Okay. Next up, we have got best moment of the year.
Oh my, there's so many.
There's
Edge.
so many. I feel like
Edge Royal Rumble.
would be a good one to pick.
Oh,
Edge Royal Rumble. Ryan.
Me?
Yeah.
Or just for a personal preference, I'm going to say Roman's return.
Okay.
yeah,
Louis?
not bad.
I'm gonna have to say Edge's return. It just took me back to being a kid, and it was amazing.
Biggest pop of the year. Crowd as well, which I know is like an easy way out, but you've got to take into consideration. Ryan.
But it was one of the biggest pops ever.
Yeah.
We can all say, there's a pop, but that was a pop.
Yeah. Ryan.
I'm torn between 3. Obviously, Edge's Rumble.
Yeah.
Undertaker's final farewell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though it was very weak for what it was. And Sting's debut in AEW.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
I think just to keep these things interesting, I'm going to go with Sting.
Okay. Well, I think all 4 of us basically more or less mentioned Edge, so I'm going to put Edge as the winner. But let's talk about Sting to AEW. This week
let's
again
do that.
came out sort of like locked up at Darby Allin, and I never realized how much I wanted that match.
It's so good, man. It's gonna be so good.
I do want it. And Roman's return, I think it was just so unexpected. Just came in, just speared both of them, and it was over.
There were merchandise leaks, but there wasn't like a leak saying, "Oh, Roman's returning." It was more like
I called it.
anything. But it was just, I just feel like it's just like a whole new character as well, and his whole new attitude, putting him with Paul Heyman.
He's been amazing.
I love everything about it. It's just a shame. It's just a shame there was no crowd to witness it, because I think it would have been one of the biggest parts, because everyone has been shouting for Reigns to turn heel.
I honestly think it would have got a pop.
Yeah, for years now. So I feel like that's been taken away from him a little bit. But I won't, I think Edge's return probably has to top it. But that's just for my personal, because I'm a big Roman advocate. I love the guy.
So from
always, I've been, even through his, everyone booing him, I've always stuck by him. Like, I've never gone against him. I never will. Like, I just, So I've been ahead of the curve.
So from best moment of the year to worst moment of the year.
Oh, there's so many.
Oh, I've got one. Oh,
I've got Goldberg beats The Fiend.
Oh, no, you're winning.
So have I.
Louis?
Me too.
I'm just going to have to say, just because of my personal preference, any single promo that Nia Jax has cut.
Do you know what? We don't even need to discuss that, because I completely agree. But are we going with Goldberg beats The Fiend, yeah?
100%. 100%.
That should never. I don't know why that even happened. Whoever booked that needs to have a good long look at themselves, because that is.
The next one that we've got is actually cringiest moment of the year. Now, this one.
I've struggled with this one. I can't think of anything.
I struggled for this. And I think when I say it, you're going to be like, yeah, fair enough. But originally, I'd put down Street Profits versus Viking Raiders. Their whole rivalry, from doing different sports to doing that cinematic match.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Where Eric or Ivar does the Thor's hammer with a turkey bone. Like, get out of here. But then, excuse me, then I thought of the cringiest moment. The past 20 years, maybe. Eric Rowan's box. With that reveal is just, they hyped it up so much, and for that's my cringiest moment of the year. Has anybody got anything else?
Honestly, I'm drawing blanks.
I've got one.
It's not something that I can think of.
We'll go to Louis first. Louis?
I'm going to have to say, and it's a TNA thing, and it was...
I know what you're going to say!
There was this wrestler that's getting done for shooting someone. They did a court case.
Johnny Bravo. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's a good one.
I shriveled up watching it. It was awful.
You know what?
The whole acting as well.
Ryan, if you go for that wins. Because I'm changing my pick if you go for that.
I have got two. I forgot about that until Louis said it, so that's one of them. But I was going to go back to January when Roman Reigns poured the dog food over King Corbin, but I'm forget that. I'm going Impact.
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah. That was. I remember sending that to you.
You did.
You and Ryan. I was like, watch this, because it is.
Oh, do you know what? Right.
So terrible.
Not only did I watch AEW for the first time this week, I watched the Impact pay-per-view on the weekend, and I watched Impact this week.
Final resolution or something.
Something like that, yeah. Tag team of the year. Now, seeing as I just put them down for cringiest moment of the year, I'm actually going to go for some Street Profits.
Yes.
I was stuck between them and New Day. Street Profits, I think, as much as I don't like them, the New Day are always going to be amazing. They're always going to be up there. They're always going to be title champions. They're always going to be everything. But I think the Street Profits have done so well, retaining the championships, holding them for so long, going to the other brand and just changing the colour of the belt. Don't like that moment. But I think the Street Profits have done so much. I've got to go for them. As much as I hate Angelo Dawkins.
What?
Yeah, like Dawkins.
All Angelo Dawkins does, watch it on SmackDown tonight, right? All he does is, yeah.
Yeah, fam.
Yeah.
Get him, fam.
Yeah. Yeah. So honestly, watch it tonight. That's all he does. It's awful. It's awful. Montez Ford.
I love
He's all right.
Montez Ford. I love
So
Montez.
good.
I love the Street Profits, and they're my tag team of the year.
Yeah,
I
they're
love
yours
them.
as well.
Them
Louis?
and the Usos are my two favourites tag teams, and obviously the Usos haven't really done much this year
Yeah.
due to injury and etc. But Street Profits for me.
Louis?
I'm going to have to say Young Bucks. Has to be Young Bucks for me. Has to be. They were part of the, they were just amazing. They were part of the Elite, and they were fantastic in that. They did some great returns where they come back like out of nowhere and they'd hit people with super kicks, and they were like teasing they were going to have loads of great matches. And then they came in and they had an absolutely amazing match, and they won the tag belts. And it was fantastic, really good.
That against FTR.
Yeah. And it was really good. And since then, like every promo they've cut's been amazing. They're that good that they've only really been in the spotlight for the past couple of months, maybe. And in that past couple of months, they've just taken the tag team division and just turned it on its head. It's just been amazing to watch the way that they've done it. For me, I just think.
I want to go with Tony Khan claiming his company is something different, but then hiring every ex-WWE talent that becomes available. Nah, I'm going Street Profits.
Street Profits, yeah.
AEW stands for All Ex-WWE. Just going to put that out there.
I think that if we're still going, and I hope we are, if we're still going this time next year, I'm hoping that there's going to be a lot more talk of AEW and maybe other companies as well. I, for one, am definitely going to try and watch more. I sort of like know what's going on, but at the same time, I haven't got a clue. But I am going to try and watch it more going forward, especially if we're doing the podcast. Match of the year.
Oh, I've got a belter.
This annoys me because in January this year, I actually got a new favourite match of all time.
Oh.
So I have to go for that. But none of you would go for it. It was
that much.
It was at NXT Worlds Collide.
Oh, I didn't watch that.
Exactly. DIY, Tommaso Ciampa.
Was it the one with no, never mind, go on.
Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano taking on Mustache Mountain.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
That could possibly be my new favourite match of all time. So that's my pick. And my second, if I had to pick a different one, would be the first round of the Tag Team Dusty Classic, where I think it was the Broserweights against Flash and Webster, another NXT match. But that tag team match in NXT, that's mine. Ryan.
I'm going to say, one quite recently actually, I'm going to say Drew versus Reigns at Survivor Series.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I did like that one, to be fair. Louis?
I'm going to go for Eddie Kingston versus John Moxley. No disqualification match at Full Gear.
Oh, that was decent, that.
I haven't seen that, but I've heard it's good. Ryan?
Amazing. There's thumbtacks, white spirits. It's brutal. It's a great match.
I am going to put that on the to watch list for this time next week, and then we can discuss it and then see what I thought of it, etc. Ryan?
Right, so I'm stuck again. Yeah, I'm going to go Boneyard match between The Undertaker and AJ Styles.
Okay.
Because that before, really cool. And I've just literally forgot the other one. Just one sec. Can't have been that epic if I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what was it?
The Money in the Bank match.
Friggin' hell. Give me 2 minutes.
So we've all gone for 4 different ones, and going into this all week, I've known that I was not going to get another pick. So I'm going to change mine to the same one as Ryan's, Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre at Survivor Series. Ryan, are you going to go with
Moxley versus Hager. I think my other one might have been Moxley versus Hager at AEW. It was just like a normal, so. But I'm going to go with Boneyard match anyway.
Yeah, it's a Boneyard match. Okay,
yeah,
so and you can continue talking about matches if you want, but the winning match is Roman and Drew at Survivor Series, which I'll have to go back and watch again because I did enjoy that.
It was a good match. It was a good match for sure.
Next up, we've got Feud of the Year. Now I know that I basically slagged them off at 20 minutes ago, but I've gone Sasha Bailey. I think the
I thought you were going to say
whole.
Street Profits and Viking Raiders. Then.
I know they've done Goldberg Fiend. Sasha Bailey,
God,
I like the story of them being a tag team. And as much as everyone's like, oh, they're going to turn, I didn't see the turn come in when it did. It did get me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Sasha Bailey.
That's fair. That's fair.
Ryan?
Drew and Orton for me.
Oh, that is a good shout.
I think it went one match too far. Louis?
2 matches too far. Now, mine's for a specific reason, but
Okay.
it's Rollins versus the Mysterios.
Oh,
And
that's deep.
it's only because without that, we wouldn't have got Dominic Mysterio. And I think Dominic Mysterio is really good. I really like him. And I
Dominic
think
Mysterio, I think, is amazing. I think he's...
Exactly. And we wouldn't have got him without the Rollins feud. So...
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Ryan?
Oh, no, I forgot mine.
All right.
Damn.
Ryan Taylor, go on.
No, I'm
Oh,
going to
go,
change
go,
mine.
go.
I'm going to change mine, actually.
Go on.
I just remembered. I'm going to go Lana versus the announce tables.
Ah,
Truth versus the world. Ryan?
Very fresh. Still not really finished, but Roman Reigns and Jey Uso.
Yes.
Yes.
I was going to say that, but I feel like because it's still going on, I don't want to go with it.
I
But
don't care. I'm going for it. That wins.
Yeah, I'm changing mine to Reigns and Reigns.
I love it. I love it.
I love it. I love everything about it.
Now, this one I've really struggled on. I know what Louis is going to go for, but it's brand of the year.
Good question, wasn't it?
I'm going for NXT.
All
My
right.
reasonings are the old shows, such as Halloween Havoc, American Bash, In Your House. I thought that's been amazing. I've had to write down all my reasons because there's that many.
Oh my god.
Keith Lee becoming double
Make a
champion.
list.
Keith Lee becoming double champion. I thought that was
Yeah.
a moment. Definitely a moment.
In the world, it needed that moment. What
The
going on? in the world right now.
Broserweights. I hated Matt Riddle. Pete Dunne made him tolerable. The Broserweights were just amazing.
Bro.
Everything they're doing with Leon Ruff,
The order.
giving someone a 1-2-3 kid moment by beating Johnny Gargano for the championship. I thought that was amazing. Everything that Pat McAfee's done, I think he's amazing. And the one that topped it for me the most was the Cruiserweight tournament just after all the firings, and Drake Maverick not winning the tournament but getting a contract after being fired. Like that whole tournament and Drake Maverick's story and the fact that he's still there, and and Finn's gone back, and the War Games matches. I've got to go NXT. Ryan.
For me personally, I'm gonna go SmackDown.
Okay.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just-
baby.
Yeah, you got
Louis.
It's just the one that I'm more invested in. Like if I was to pick,
Easier to watch.
for example,
Because it's shorter.
and Raw,
Yeah.
between Raw, like I'd just choose SmackDown.
Mm.
It's just what I just like. Obviously, you have the Fiend and Braun, which I really liked. Now you've got Reigns and Jey Uso. You've also got other things like Owens on there now. Daniel Bryan, Sasha and Bailey as well. It's just the brand that I prefer.
King Corbin. Louis, I think I know what you're going to go for.
It's no surprise, but I'm going to go for them.
Impact.
Dynamite. You have to go. I think...
Main event.
No, I missed my joke.
There's more.
Damn it. All week I've been prepping to say 205 Live. And I missed it.
There's more.
Answer.
There's more variety on that. I know that AEW has more people available than WWE, so every week there's different matches with different people.
Not only that, it's one brand, whereas WWE are throwing all their superstars across like 3 brands, whereas AEW, all of them in one brand. I even watched AEW Dark this week, and the amount of matches on there.
AEW Dark is literally just like AEW's version of NXT.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Too. But no, Dynamite, just because like you've got MJF on there, who's just become an absolute standout star. You've got Darby Allin on there, who's just come out. He's won his first wrestling belt, first professional belt from any promotion. you've got, obviously, John Moxley has just been such a presence. You've got Kenny Omega. You've got, you know what I mean? The list of stars, they've literally, but the best part is they could have a week without a Moxley match, right? Whereas without Moxley even showing up, and it would still be good. Whereas WWE, if they had a Raw with no Drew, it wouldn't be that good.
You'd notice, wouldn't you? Like, it'd be a talking point, yeah.
If they had a SmackDown without Reigns, you'd notice. You'd be like, why hasn't Reigns done a segment? I just feel like...
And that's not to say that Moxley or whatever isn't as interesting, so you don't notice him. It's because
there's more
talent. Impactful. Yeah.
Yeah, what they've done is they've built feuds. WWE has built feuds to like a level, and then they've got like Reigns, and then they've got Drew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas Dynamite, they've got their mid-card feuds, and then they've got main event feuds, and they've got a few main event feuds.
Yeah, they have.
Adam Page. The list of Moxley feuds that have been amazing this year just goes on.
You've got Pac and the Eddie Kingston.
Yeah,
You've got MJF, Jericho. Like,
not even mentioned him.
It's so stacked, and it makes for a great show every time.
Ryan,
Friday Night SmackDown.
Why?
Because I just prefer SmackDown as a brand.
Because I'm a WWE nerd, and it's the easiest show to watch because it's the shortest.
Better storytelling, better creative. I enjoy watching like Raw. I feel like it's a chore. I enjoy Raw chore. Hey. I enjoy watching SmackDown.
So the winner is SmackDown because both the Ryans went for it. But I've got to give an AEW. I think AEW will be show of the year next year, especially if we all watch it. Speaking of next year, at the end of every show, we do a bold prediction. Last week, I said one of the Iconics would have a match, forgetting that one had already been booked into a match. So I'm going to try and take myself out of that. Louis went for, what was yours, Louis?
Oh, mine was Omega having a match either with a TNA personnel on AEW or with a TNA person on TNA.
And what was the outcome?
So a match got booked, right? And it's just a Bullet Club. It's right. So what are they called? The Good Brothers.
Yeah.
It's the Good Brothers and Omega versus Rich Swann.
Yeah.
And two people who I've never heard of before.
Yeah. So you did actually get the bold prediction correct. Ryan's was for Owens to stun up Paul Heyman, which is still possible. And Ryan's was for Lana to put Nia through a table, which is looking more unlikely, but it's still possible.
It's still possible, yeah.
It's still possible. This week, we're all going to do the same bold prediction, and that's who we think is going to be the 2021 Star of the Year for our award. So who we think is going to be Star of the Year. Has anybody got an answer straight up?
Yeah.
Go on.
Kenny Omega is going to belt collect.
Okay.
It'll be one of them where it's impossible not to put him there. I'm not a big fan of him, but I think he's going to go to Impact, win a few titles, go to New Japan, win a few titles, and he's going to stay AEW champ for a long time, and he's going to be like a belt collector, like the gimmick that he had. I really think they're going to try and push something that we haven't seen before with him right now, with Don Callis, and I think he's just going to take over the more indie side of the wrestling world. I think it'd be impossible not to get him in the conversation. I'm not a big fan, but that's what I think can happen.
Louis?
Mine, first and foremost, I fully agree with Ryan. I think Kenny Omega is going to become Impact champion. I think he's going to become NJPW champion. And I think he's going to stay the AEW champion for a very long time. I think he's literally just going to stand there and just rake the belts in. And that's just going to be the way he is. But mine is actually, and I know I'm not going to get another vote on this, but I really like him, so I'm going for it. I'm going to say Darby Allin.
Good shout. Good shout.
I just want to see, all I want to see, and all I can vision in my head is Darby Allin breaking out of where he is at the moment. Because at the moment, although I love what he's doing with Sting, he's a bit pigeonholed. He can't really go with anyone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He has to literally just sit there till Sting comes out, and then Sting does his bit, and then so on and so forth. He can't really have a feud with anyone else. So when that's over and done with, which I think is going to be Feud of the Year, when that's over and done with, I hope he gets in the main event picture, because he's an absolute maniac. He will do anything. He will take any bump, do any move. The guy's finisher is like a frog splash, but he just jumps and lands on his back.
Nice.
He just lands on the back of his head every time. It's mental. And he will take any bump for anyone. So I can just see him having some amazing stipulation matches, like no disqualification. They'll probably do some sort of match where he hits someone over the head with a skateboard, because that's his gimmick. I can just see him just having some amazing matches. Not being a main eventer, but I just feel like he'll be consistent with his quality.
Ryan.
Wowie.
I'm going to say Big E.
Ooh, okay.
That's a good shout.
Because I feel like at the Rumble, I'm not going to say it's nailed on for him to win it, but I feel like he's getting his singles push now. And I feel like I feel like the crowning moment to win the Rumble, go on to Mania, get his crowning moment, a bit like Kofi, but I think this one with Big E's have been very well overdue, long overdue.
Well, the name that I have written down is Big E, but I don't think it will be. I want it to be, but obviously with the rumours of Roman and Goldberg, there's no room there for Big E. Obviously, I said I wanted him to win the Rumble and that. Yeah, I can't bring myself to do it. The second idea was The Miz. I think he's going to cash in. Maybe not the night after Mania, but I think it'll be soonish after there. And I think he'll carry the championship for the rest of the year. But the person I'm going for is the person that will win the Rumble, will main event WrestleMania, will walk out WWE champion, and will get cashed in on by The Miz. Keith Lee. Keith Lee is my pick. So, obviously, in a year's time, we will, just before Christmas, we'll come back and have a look at this and see how we got on, see if any of us were right, see if any of us... Because the thing with this, Big E, SmackDown, for example, he could get injured tonight in a match and be out for a year. Like, that's what you've got to take into consideration. Yeah. Any of these things can happen. But
and unless, Belly Golden, anything could happen.
But unless anybody has anything else to add, I think we're going to end the podcast.
Been a bloody long one tonight, lads.
It has been absolutely stacked. On Monday, Ryan and I will be reviewing TLC and do a podcast for that, so that'll be fun. On Tuesday, all of us will be doing a Christmas quiz. Ryan, do you want to tell us more about that?
Yeah, so essentially, in a world where Chad versus Ryan versus Louis, one man, one goal, one brain will walk out the winner of the inaugural Christmas pub quiz. It's basically on the categories between the decade of 2010 to 2020, covering pay-per-view events, what happened on brands, major superstars, major storylines, and for a few twists in, have a few drinks. It's a pub quiz, isn't it?
And it's going to be embarrassing. So when are we recording that?
I believe that's Tuesday.
So that'll be up on Wednesday. And then Wednesday evening, we are recording the Bold Prediction Wrestling podcast because it's Christmas. And Ryan, you are hosting that one.
I am indeed.
So got that to look forward to. We are now on YouTube. We are now on SoundCloud. We are now on Spotify. We are now on iTunes. So you can find us on any of them. We're also on Facebook. We're on Twitter. I don't really know what else to say. Tomorrow on Facebook and Twitter, our TLC predictions will be up. Like I said, whoever loses will have to review them 4 painfully awful matches, live stream them to YouTube, their reactions. So that'll be fun. Predictions will be up for that tomorrow. But if that's it, are we good to stop?
I believe so.
See you next week.